So in this video we're going to take a look at what Mallorca is going to be like in September for 2024.
Find out what the weather will be like, what there is to see and do, and how it's looking over at the airport. Plus find out if there are any further anti-tourism saturation protests planned, as well as how busy the island will be.
But first I'm going to say consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. I've got various guides, travel tips, live streams and holiday news to help prepare you for your holiday if you're hoping to come over here to the island. But for now I'm going to turn the camera around and let's start talking about what Mallorca is going to be like during the month of September.
So not all beaches in the summer have been extremely busy, such as where I am now on Santa Ponsa beach.
But you are going to find some of the other beaches around the island to still, in my opinion, be very packed. And that's going to be the coves, the tiny coves that you're going to find in some other areas of the island. So maybe down in Calidor you're going to see it's quite busy. Also Ilietes as well, we've got some very small coves. You're going to find that to be quite busy. But these much bigger beaches and the bigger beach resorts, you're going to find are going to empty out quite a lot during the month of September, and that's because, well, schools go back. So from the kind of around the 10th of September onwards, schools are going to start going back in Spain. You're going to find a lot of schools have already gone back in Europe too, and in the UK as well. And of course America have already gone back in August, but we're going to find a lot less families during the beach from Monday to Friday. But if the weather stays this nice and this beautiful that you can see behind me, we're going to see the beaches getting very, very busy as usual at the weekends as well. So just bear that in mind. If you're coming over in the month of September, the best times of the week to go to the beach are going to be from Monday to Friday. You're going to find them to be a lot emptier than you will do at the weekends, but this is perfectly normal. Anyway, let's head on down towards the back of Santa Ponsa beach and I'm going to tell you more about what it's going to be like visiting the island during the month. So I'm just clinging to the shade here which lines Santa Ponsa beach to let you know as well other areas of busyness on the islands that you're going to experience. Now, with people going back to work in September and with schools going back, rush hour is going to be once again a bit of a nightmare on the roads. Try and avoid that kind of period between 8:30 and 9:30 in the morning, particularly around Palma. I think you'll find the biggest pain points. The rest of the island should be absolutely fine. Also over at the airport as well, I've got some good news actually, because we haven't had as many problems as I was expecting earlier on in the season when we had the whole remodelling of the whole Terminal A area. It hasn't impacted too much flights or people's experiences over at the airport.
So this is referring to the normal operations over at the airport and not the delays and cancellations that we saw following the recent storms that we had in August.
During the month of July we had something like 4.5 million passengers coming through the airport, and almost 1 million of those were coming from the UK and well over 1 million are coming from Germany too. But it seems that the airport experience this summer has actually been pretty good. So if we've got past peak season in August, I'd say moving on into September, coming through the airport should be okay. But I will say if you're travelling in the afternoon, allow more time for your journey to the airport. We're going to start to hit that rush hour time as well, so I fully expect the whole area around the airport to be clogged up with traffic from around 4 o'clock onwards. So if you do have a late afternoon flight, leave early, leave extra time to get to the airport. And of course, well, if you're travelling on the package holiday, they will manage that trip for you. If you're not going on the package holiday and you are driving back to the airport, we'll just allow a lot of extra time to get there. So maybe try and get there maybe 3 hours before your flight, just to be on the safe side, particularly if you have to take your hire car back too. Okay, let's continue down along the beach. Just need a little bit more shade, but we're going to head on down just under the trees here around Santa Ponsa beach. Okay, so what are we going to expect weather-wise as we move on into September? Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to have highs of over 30 degrees on some days. Other days it's going to be highs of 20 degrees too. However, please be aware that September is the month when we do get September storms, and these can bubble up from anywhere as well. If you do have an alert feature on your mobile phone, alert it for the weather as well. I will probably tell you about it here as well if I hear about it on one of my Monday update videos too. But these storms can bubble up anywhere, and they can kind of come blustering in through the islands. They can be quite dramatic, so just bear that in mind. If we do have news of a storm coming, don't intend to go out too far and wide that day. Try and stay local to your resort, to your hotel, and just be careful if you're going to the beach in the thunderstorm too. I did mention it in one of my most recent news updates, so just bear that in mind. But normally these storms do blow through very quickly, and often the sun comes out just a few hours later, meaning that you can normally return to the pool or to the beach as well. It's not very often when we have a storm completely wiping out a day, although I have to say it can happen. It can happen, so just be prepared for that. So if you're packing to come over here on holiday, what do you need to bring? Well, plenty of summer clothes. Bring your summer clothes. It's still going to be very, very warm over here, but I would recommend maybe bringing a pair of jeans, maybe a jumper or a fleece or a cardigan as well, just on those days where we may get a bit of a sudden temperature drop. And well, that's happened too during the month of September, but like I've said, it never normally lasts long. So sunrise times are around 7:15 in the morning, sunset times around 8:15 in the evening, and you're going to notice those evenings starting to draw in a little bit more. But that's not to say that you're not going to have an amazing holiday out here, because there's still plenty of time to enjoy the sunrises and enjoy the sunsets as well, and go for late picnics on the beach too. And if you're wondering where to see the sunset from over here in Mallorca, well, I'm standing in one of the best areas. Go and check out my most recent live stream from over here in Santa Ponsa. You'll know that we've got some amazing sunset views from over here from the beachside Chiringuitos, and also heading on over towards Costa de la Calma, which is just around the bay too. But with the hot sunshine that we're still going to get over here during the month of September, I'd still advise bringing out as much sun cream as you can, or getting it in the pharmacies as well. Just because we're not in the peak season anymore, it doesn't mean to say that sun isn't going to be strong. You're still going to burn, so make sure you come over with at least a factor 15. Which moves me on to talking about the mosquito situation, because I know I'm going to be asked about it in the month of September. I would say historically the mosquito situation tends to get a little bit worse the further we go on into the season. They do tend to treat the areas and the waterways and the drains earlier on in the season, and well, with the heavy rains brings more sunshine and allows these mosquitoes to breed. So I tend to notice that after we've had heavy rains, the mozzies tend to get a little bit worse afterwards too, which means be prepared. Get your mosquito repellent, get some mosquito treatment before coming over, get a plug-in for your hotel room or your apartment or anything like that. But just be prepared when you come over, because I suspect if we do have rain, and we will have rain, that those mozzies are going to be out and biting shortly after. Okay, so what's there to see and do during the month of September? Well, with hopefully slightly cooler temperatures, it's going to allow you to get out and explore a little bit more than you normally would do during July and August. But I am standing in the location of what I consider to be one of the very best local cultural festivals to take place on the island during the summer, and it's going to be the Rey Sant Jaume Fiestas that take place right at the beginning of September. Now, I do have plenty of content about this on my channel already. I'm going to drop some links in the description text below this video here. You can go and check it out too. I've also got information on the website on Mallorca Under the Sun about this too. We do not have a timetable just yet for what's taking place, when they start, etc. And I shall let you know all about that as we head on towards the big event. But I'm going to turn the camera around to just show you the area where all of this is held as well, and it's right here down the back of the beach. So this entire area here down the back of Santa Ponsa beach is converted into a medieval market. You're also going to see historical reenactments too. It's really good fun. It really is good fun, and it just shows that summer isn't quite over as we enter September too. They also have concerts. They've also got a Correfoc, a fire run too. I mean, it's one of the best events I'd say taking place over here. So if you do want a great holiday with the beach and the pool, but with a little bit of culture mixed in too, well, maybe Santa Ponsa is the place to come in early September. Because also over in Port de Soyer, we've got the Habaneros Music Festival, which takes place on the beach, and that's a series of musical events as well, musical concerts, which take place down in Port de Soyer during mid-September onwards. And again, I don't have a programme for that. Go and follow the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook page. When I have that timetable, I'm going to share it onto the page there, so you can get a full idea of what's going on in many of the resorts around the islands as well. Often with these local fiestas and concerts, they don't tend to let you know what's happening until maybe a couple of weeks just before the event, so head on over there and I'll try and keep you informed. But that's not all, because also over in Bini Salem as well, as we come to the end of the grape growing and harvesting season, there's a huge party taking place. If you're a big wine fan over here in Mallorca, if you like doing the wine tours, then you may want to head over to Bini Salem for their final harvesters celebration for when they bring in the final harvest during the month of September too. It's called the Festas de Verema as well. Might be quite interesting to go along to. You're going to see lots of music, dancing, a big party in the village as well taking place, so that could be something really alternative to do too while you're over here on holiday. Also, the weather's going to be much nicer to go out and visit some of the local markets. They're still going to be taking place in all the tourist resorts, even the markets that take place in the holiday resorts as well, because don't forget, the holiday season doesn't finish here until the end of October. So all the smaller markets you're going to find, say, up in Can Picafor, in Siliot, in Calamilor, they're still going to take place, as well as the steadfast markets that we find year round, whether in Palma, Alcudia, Poyensa, Old Town, or Son Severa, or Santagny. So you've got plenty of options for getting out and exploring the island. Now, I would say that during the month of September, it's still going to be a little bit too hot to go hiking. I'm sure people will go hiking in September, but I would leave that until the month of October, when temperatures are a lot cooler. Saying that too, if you're going out on a cycling holiday, try and get out early, get back quickly as well, because, well, when that sun comes out, and if we do have a hot day, it's going to be pretty hard going on some of those mountain roads too.
And also, if you've seen my coverage on the channel regarding the anti-tourism saturation protests, you may be wondering if we'll be seeing any further activity taking place in September. Well, quite possibly so, but will this take place in the resorts? Well, it's unlikely, because any protest that takes place has to have the approval of the government. So if it does take place, it's likely to be in the city Palma. So don't worry too much coming over. Check my content as to where the holidaymakers feel welcome in Mallorca, and I'll put a link to that video in the description text below. But don't worry, come over and enjoy your break.
Okay everyone, I hope you found this short guide to Mallorca in September for 2024 useful. Don't forget, if you are travelling in October, I'm going to be having an October guide coming out very soon as well, so consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. You can also find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.